We are back with Power Up with Pride 2026, where we have raised $6,610 for Point of Pride. Our next run is Metro Gravity Any Percent Glitchless with LaurieDBunnykins. Laurie, take it away.
Tree spin. Whee! All right. Hello, everybody. My name is LaurieDBunnykins. Welcome to Metro Gravity. If you have not seen this game before, you're gonna love it. It is a 3D puzzle-y Metroidvania with a lot of really cool gravity bending and movement going on that y'all are gonna love. But before we start, we did have a bid war. The main character, Stephanie here, looks pretty good, but there are a lot of different costumes in this game. So do we have a winner?
We do indeed, by a margin of about $8. Gym Clothes is our winner.
All right. This is actually one of my favorites. Boom. There we go. Pretty simple, but pretty nice looking, if I say so myself. This game's whole costume roster is really good, I think. Like, as you can see, if I just go through them, I like them all a lot. But yeah, with that being said, thank you all so much for donating for the incentive. Thank you all so much for showing up for Point of Pride and Metro Gravity. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We use an in-game timer for this game, so time to just like start as soon as possible, like in compliance with the in-game timer, is going to start when I skip this final text box here, which is going to be in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So yeah, Metro Gravity is, like I mentioned, pretty simple at the surface, like 3D Metroidvania. Starting off with just our basic moveset here, we have, our jump and our like little dodge that we're going to be using a lot. The dodge is pretty good. It gives you pretty good like burst of movement into the air. So you're going to see that a lot actually. But as I fall down, you're going to see this like lock icon appear next to Stephanie. This is concentration. Concentration lets me flip between whether my gravity will swap to whatever surface I land on or lock in current place. So like you can see me use it here to try and navigate these hallways as fast as possible. The main thing to keep in mind, especially early on in the game, is just that we want our gravity to be locked in whatever direction we're trying to move for the most part, because when your gravity is unlocked and you're getting like pulled in every direction, since you're getting pulled in every direction, you're not really accelerating in the air all that well. This is a very floaty game, but when your gravity is locked to a single direction and you're only getting pulled in that direction, it lets you accelerate a lot faster. So like I'm gonna hook to the side of this tunnel and then fall down it. And that's a lot faster than just like going through it normally.
I've got a donation if you have a moment.
Give me 1 second to talk about this item we just got, because this is a pretty big one. We get the gravity amulet here. It allows us to place these gravity wells on the wall, which is pretty useful. Not only will it let us interact with objects, which begins this game's little like puzzle setup, as you're going to see here. I'm going to move this water ball onto a switch using the amulet, but it is also the first item that we get that kind of lets us mess with our momentum in midair. If we go into a gravity well while we're in midair, we will shift immediately. And that's really helpful for navigating the game fast. You can read a donation now as I'm going through this puzzle, kind of cheesing it a little bit.
Well, it's a short and sweet one. It's $25 from an anonymous donor with no comment. Donated to that costume bid war right at the end, but it did not change our results. So gym clothes are going to be sticking with us.
Sounds good. Yeah, I would have to go into like a new game file or like a finished game file to change my outfit. Because the outfits are technically unlockable, but like you can wear one in a save file and then it'll show up on the new save file pretty much.
Yeah, I already saw it in the totals, but I think it was processing, so no worries.
I see. But yeah, so I just got the pocket mirror, which is this game's parry. Parrying is pretty big in this game. It's like a very just efficient way to deal with a lot of attacks. But then you saw me save and quit after I grabbed the pocket mirror. And the reason that is because saving and quitting in this game is really strong. It is a save and quit. You save your progress right then and there, but you don't save your position. Your position is put back to your last checkpoint, which are these little computer terminals. So since your items are saved, but your position is set back to wherever you set it, it's actually very easy to kind of abuse the computer terminals as a sort of like hodgepodge makeshift fast travel to areas we've already been, which is really nice for time save, especially because, as I mentioned earlier, this game's like leaderboards are based off of the in-game timer in the top left. It technically saves like a good bit of time to do a lot of these save and quits. And I mean, even without the in-game timer of it all, it still saves time to do these save and quits.
Right.
Being able to just kind of like teleport a lot easier than the game intends is very nice. Like instead of going backwards through this tunnel, I can just, be where we need to be. So using like a combination of our items and saving and quitting to get around the map really fast, we are already heading into the first boss fight. The boss fights in this game, you can't really do too much to speed them up. I also lost this boss fight. The boss fight here, there's like a small thing I'm looking for to start the fight, and if I don't do my movement there correctly, it can kind of blend into the background here, but I found it. So the boss fights here, you can't do too much to speed them up. They're very musical sequences. That being said, they're very cool musical sequences. As you can see on the right, there is like a score tally. Every time I parry, my multiplier goes up. Every time I take damage, it goes down. And every time I hit the boss, I gain points. So you don't need to score at all in the speedrun. This is just for like, fun. But I figure for the sake of the showcase, it's fun to try and get as high of a score as I can.
Is this a good time for a quick donation?
Absolutely.
I got $5 from Demarine, who says tree spin, and puts that $5 toward the default costumes for our character color palette bid for Chrono Trigger. So we're off the mark on that one.
Mm-hmm. Also, I baited myself a little bit. As you can see in this fight, there will sometimes be like these indicators that show up, because not every attack is parryable. Like these cars that are getting thrown at you, you can't parry those. Yeah. But yeah, no, the main conceit of the boss fights in a speedrun context is just not dying. So, thankfully they only get easier the more you do them. Like, they're just kind of learning. And they're still really cool, again, so it's not like that bad to have to do them a lot. But we're just gonna do this one saw blade section here. And that's going to be end of the boss fight against the Doctor. They do have a health bar that we need to actually take out once they finish their musical sequence, but they can't deal any damage to us back. So it's pretty easy, just finish up the fight. And we're going to be on our way out. Now here we're going to get the needle and thread. The needle and thread is my favorite item in the game. It seems pretty innocuous at first. Its intended effect is just to connect items together. This is a physics puzzle game. So you can attach these scissors here to the light post to fling them off the light post. But as you might have seen from the way I did it, and also from the tree spin at the start, if you are in mid-air and you latch onto something with the needle and thread, you kind of just get to Spider-Man swing. It is super fun, and it's really cool part of this movement in the game, in this game, especially combining it with all the gravity changing. It's such a fun item to use.
More games should have grappling hooks.
Absolutely, I agree.
Just grappling hook makes a game objectively better. I don't even care about context.
No, yeah, of course. Oh, I did that funny. Oops. This should work out. Yeah, I just had to do the right button press. So, at this point, we're kind of, open-ended. After fighting the first boss, we get the tuning fork, which points us to 3 other bosses in the game. And in order to access the final boss, we are going to need to take those 3 bosses out. But we can do that in any order. So the first area we opt to go to is using this secret, like, backdoor entrance to the Gambler's Palace, where the goal there is there's, like, a bunch of swords chained to the ground holding up a chandelier, and we need to detach all the chains to crash it into the ground. So we, like, use that back entrance to get one of the swords now, but we're not going to go back there for a while. It just so happens that that place has a really weird key system to it, and using that backdoor entrance to get that sword now and then saving and quitting out is faster than getting the sword normally when we're actually in the area. So put a pin in it. We'll come back to that. For now, we are heading to the Red Desert. This area is super cool. Unfortunately, in any percent, we don't get to see it for very long. There's just one item here that's pretty good that we need to get, and it's behind a puzzle here. So I'm going to hit this save point, and we're going to do the soccer ball puzzle. The soccer ball puzzle is a recurring puzzle type in this game that only appears in this part of any percent, but appears much else, like a lot of other parts of the game. Pretty much there's a soccer ball in a net, and you have to get the soccer ball in the net. But unlike with other objects, like if you use the gravity amulet on them, the soccer ball is not affected by any gravity shifting. It will always be centered to wherever, like, the grassy area it spawns on is. So it's a little bit tricky to navigate, and that's actually, like, one of the more annoying puzzles in the early part of this run.
So that actually raises a question for me. Like, if you were to compare what would be like a casual playthrough experience to what we're seeing in the speed run, about, like, ballpark, how much of the game are we going to be seeing here?
I mean, I do have a percentage number, actually. Any percent runs, because you get a percentage completion when you beat the game, you usually get around 27%. So we are seeing, like, and I think a quarter is pretty good. Because, like, we're going to be seeing most areas of the game in this run, and, like, all of the boss fights, things like that. But there are so much extras and, like, secrets in each area that we're just not dealing with at all.
Yeah, like, I am, I'll admit, just a little bit overwhelmed with what I'm seeing visually.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot going on. And we're going to do a skip here, which definitely doesn't help the feeling of so much happening. So there's an enemy over here that we need to take out in order to, like, open this gate. And you would usually have to, like, open another gate and do a whole, like, travel through this, like, tunnel area to open this gate, but we use the needle and thread to get the enemy over to us, like, through the wall, and we fight the enemy through the wall, and that skips most of that puzzle there. A lot of the format of this game's main areas is kind of the same as I explained with, like, the swords and as we saw with the torches at the start, where you kind of need to do a certain amount of, like, collect a certain amount of thing in an area to open up a new path. So after we break all these chains I've been dealing with in this snowy area, we are going to get the handy wrench here, which is going to allow us to, like, open these, like, turnable valves. Unfortunately, unlike some of the other areas or, like, items in this game, there's not really a good movement application to it, like there is the needle and thread or the, like, gym plate, which is this stomp item I've been using and I haven't explained. But that's the item we got from the Red Desert and the soccer ball puzzle. But we still need the handy wrench for some puzzles. Speaking of, though, the gym plate and the handy wrench are, like, the only extra items we need after getting the needle and thread. So we're kind of at the point of the run now where the goal is going to be to just, like, get to the boss fights we need to beat as fast as possible and take them out. Starting here in the archives, the main idea of the puzzles here is the electricity, where you can use the needle and thread and these batteries in the area to create an electrical current. And we're going to do that to open doors and things like that.
Oh, so you're creating a circuit that from the positive to the negative?
We are creating a circuit, pretty much.
Neat.
So like in this room, we're going to do a big connection here. And then we're going to do oh, I didn't do that all the way properly. Okay. There we go. There we go. And then we're going to put the gravity well here, because the idea behind the electrical circuits is that there can't be any interference. If one of these thread lines is going through a wall, that's no good. So we need to make sure that we have everything connected without messing up the wall, and we're good to go there. And then we're going to do another similar puzzle here. I like to do it around this orientation. This area can be pretty tricky when you're learning it and like playing it for the first time, just because like there's like wall everywhere. But this is a really fun puzzle. We have to use this bookcase here to create a pendulum to like periodically cut off our circuit by swinging through the wire, and then use that to get through this like alternating electricity gate. And with that, we are actually on our way to the second boss. That is the end of the archives. We are going to head down here and head into this elevator. Okay, thanks, game. There we go. That's a better swing. This little stomp jump that I do out of the gym plate a lot actually works better the higher you stomp from. So you'll see me do it usually if I'm just trying to navigate like flat spaces, but if I can get like a big drop into it, that's usually much better.
So what benefit does that give you?
It's just fast.
Yep,
there are certain like surfaces that you need to use the gym plate to like smash through. If you're talking about like the overworld application of it. Like when I went into the snowy area, there was this like purple floor. I had to use the plate for that to like access the main body of the area. Sorry, I am focused on the next boss fight here. This one is really fun. Something I haven't really brought up is how musical this game is. Obviously, I mentioned the bosses are kind of like musical sequences, but you've already seen several of these like parry gates where I have to time my parries to the music. The thing to point out about this is that this game is specifically very polyrhythmic. The parry gates like to test really weird time signatures, and every boss in this game, like before the final boss, after the first one, so like the three like split up bosses that we can do on every order, are all in like, this one is in 5-4, the next boss we're gonna do is in 7-8, and then the boss after that is in 9-8. So like, it's very wacky music timing in this game, which is really cool. If you're worried about that, if you think this game looks really cool, but you're worried about your rhythm, this game does have a setting to triple the parry windows, which the parry windows already aren't the most, you know, like they're already like a little forgiving, I'd say, but like not the most, but you can triple them. So
okay, I'm a Rush fan, so I think I'm gonna give it a shot on default at first, but I'm really glad that option is there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, that's the end of the second boss here. We just have to make our way out. And we're going to grab another heal here. I grabbed a heal after the first boss, which the heals are just really good. They kind of work like a Souls heal. You know, you make it to a save point, you recharge your set amount of heals. I think that's how Souls works. I haven't played a Souls game. That's just what I've heard.
Yeah, it's pretty close. That's pretty close to the mark.
Yeah. And I accidentally pressed the button instantly. That's fine. I need to use a checkpoint soonish anyways. But yeah, we are now done with our second boss of the game, and we're going to move on. Like I said, after we got the 2 extra items I mentioned, we're kind of just in our, like, general loop of the game now, where we're going to head to an area, get its, like, boss fight done, and then move on to the next. So we are going to make our way out of the archives, which this is a really pretty area. I did not explore most of the rooms in this area, but like it's really pretty and has some really fun puzzles. But we are going to move on to what I think is probably the toughest area of the run. This area has a lot of enemies that hate you, and a lot of one puzzle in particular, actually, that can go very, very wrong if you're not careful. Okay, this is interesting.
Something is really not a big fan of us today.
Yeah, that guy usually isn't as bad of a struggle, but I had a problem with navigating that room. So this is the Nothing Factory, and the main idea of this area here is these time switches. You can like flick them, and it'll go between this like summer and winter state, which is really, really... It's really cool, honestly, but it makes these puzzles sometimes very, like, tricky to navigate between the two states. Oh, I didn't actually hit the switch I was supposed to hit. There we go. It makes it a little bit tricky to navigate at times, but that's not specifically the reason this is one of the hardest areas. It's mainly the navigation to this, like, central mechanism is pretty tricky. And then there's a puzzle coming up, actually, that right after I save and quit, you're going to see... I'm going to, like, rotate this hand to open this door above me, and we're going to get into this, like, lava chamber. Now, usually in this part of the game, there's this block. You can see that, like, blue block up there. You would need to navigate this block through this entire, like, lava area. Ah, dang it. There's the ground. You have to navigate the blue block through this entire lava area, pretty much, and it's really tricky. Hello, game? Why am I not getting, like, the angles I need? I'm gonna try replacing the gravity well. It might be a little lower than I'm used to. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Yeah, so we're trying to just skip using the block entirely. Why are you hitting me? That's never happened before. Can I please heal before I die?
The thing.
Okay, I somehow made it. I've had that go a lot worse with a lot less antics going on, so we'll take that.
Marathon luck.
Yeah, that puzzle is like genuinely one of the individual hardest parts of the run. It's pretty hard to navigate that super accurately. Thankfully, the last puzzle of this area is just pretty simple block pushing with the time switches before we get to the boss. So if you have an announcement you'd like to make, now is a great time.
Understood. We are raising money for Point of Pride, which is a trans-led and 501c3 nonprofit organization who've served tens of thousands of people in all 50 states and over 100 countries by providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. They're currently celebrating their 10-year anniversary, and in that time have raised nearly $6 million US in support of their mission. The money we raise today for Point of Pride will go to their various support programs, such as their Electrolysis Support Fund, which is a scholarship-like program that provides direct financial assistance to trans femme people in need of permanent hair removal services they cannot otherwise afford. I also just wanted to turn your attention to the milestone that we opened up shortly ago. At $7,375 across the entire marathon, we're going to be adding a new game, Barney's Hide and Seek.
So this is the this is the bully, sorry, the cannibal is a different boss. This is the bully. We interact with a sand castle in this giant sand pit, and they come out of the ground. And this fight actually has something a little interesting, in that this is one of the few boss fights that actually has something we can do to speed it up. So I'm going to get through this like last part of phase 1 here. This is a pretty tricky pattern. This is the song that's in 7/8, as I mentioned. But as it gets to its like ending here, I'm gonna unlock my gravity so I get on the wall of the sandbox here. And then as phase 2 starts, I'm gonna lock my gravity, and this snake is gonna appear from the ground. And I'm going to try, I can move during the cutscene where it spawns. I'm going to like fall off the sandbox as the snake spawns, and I'll just already be on top of the snake by the time I'm able to like move again.
So what's the intended path? Are you supposed to like grab onto it or something?
You're supposed to find your way onto it. I think you're usually supposed to use the gravity well on its head, because you can place one there, which you might need to see me do here. Yeah, I'm gonna do like this, and then try and get my way over there, but it's running away. This is a pretty weird spot. So yeah, unfortunately there, you can try and like hook the snake from, like for the last hit, after you hit the 3 purple like globes, you have to bash the snake's head to end this phase, which is why it's one of the only things in this game that like, it's a fight you can actually speed up. But you don't have to specifically hit the like sigil on the top of the head. You can just like hit almost anywhere on the head. And as long as the gravity is correct, that it actually like registers you as on the ground instead of like sliding off the wall, as you hit the head, it'll stomp on the head and end the phase. So I went for a kind of risky stomp, and unfortunately did not pay off because it was not like flat enough for the game to consider it a floor as opposed to a wall. And I just kind of slid off the snake. So a little bit unfortunate, but this fight is still really cool. Again, this is like probably my favorite. And that is the end of the bully.
We did have a donation come in if this is a good time.
Yeah, now is a great time. We're just waiting for this like post-boss thing to end.
Perfect. We have $25 from Clarissa the Dog Cow, who we had on the couch a bit ago as the dev for Enigma Heart, who says, "Thanks, Plup, both for hosting all these awesome games and even awesomer runners, and for all you do for Point of Pride. Can we get a trans rights in chat?" I'm pretty sure we can get a trans rights in chat.
Trans goddamn rights. Let's go. Alright, so we are going to head back to the Snowy Bridge. We are going to actually head to the last of the 4 areas before we're at, like, the end of the game. So I'm going to make my way over here, do a pretty funny-looking stomp to try and land on this area down here, and get to... If the statue actually wants to move upwards, there we go. We're going to do a little shadow puzzle here, and then we're going to get into the final area of the run. This is going to be the Gambler's Palace. Now, the Gambler's Palace is pretty cool. The conceit behind it is actually that there's going to be these like laser light puzzles that we move mirrors around using the handy wrench. But there's also a weird side gimmick to this area. Pretty much there are these like card sets of the 4 card suits, and each of them act as a key. So in order to get all of the, if you remember from the start, like after the first boss where I like went to this like weird side area to bust a sword, we're there now. So I've already done part of it. So the idea now is just to grab the club suit and the diamond suit from 2 very easily reachable areas, and we now have the card suits needed to break the rest of the swords and finish up like the area, which is the main reason we wanted to do that like first sword in the kind of like back road way that we did, because that's what lets us skip needing to grab an extra card suit and thus skips like an extra puzzle in this area. That puzzle kind of similar to one of the ones I did earlier in the archives with the circuits. I skipped part of it by just like grabbing onto the mirror and falling through the tunnel, like as I change its electricity instead of trying to do it the normal way. And now we're on to like the last puzzle of the run. This is the last one I'm gonna do before the final like boss fight that leads to the final area of the game. And this one takes so long. It's like a whole in-depth process that takes like genuinely, even if you're doing it as fast as you can, like a minute, if not more. I have to like navigate this block to reflect light, and then hit this switch to turn on a light color, And then I'm going to use this light color to... Where am I? Okay, I landed somewhere. I know where I am now. There we go. Now I have to find my way back to... There we go. So I'm going to use this light color to, like, bust open another block here. And this block that we started with has an arrow on it, as you can see. Pretty much... Or it has an X on it right now, but it did have an arrow on it. Pretty much this is a puzzle I've dealt with a little bit in this game, or in this run, but exists a lot more just throughout the full course of the game, where you have to have a block with a specific gravitational pull on it in order for it to, like, actually be, like, a key and, like, power a certain thing. So we do, after, like, doing the first steps of this puzzle to get the red light working, we pretty much just do, like, a great block replacement where we swap the two blocks. Like, we swap a block out of that puzzle, out of that second cage, to put the first block in there, so that we can use it as the key. And it's a lot going on, but once we do that, as you can see, we have broken the glass ceiling that was down here, and I am flying into the sky. There we go. We're fine. And that's going to lead to the last boss before we get to the game's, like, ending sequence. The game's ending sequence does have, like, 2 boss fights that are the same length as normal boss fights, so we're not, like, super close to time. We're still, like, a tiny bit out. But we have some really fun fights ahead of us, like the cannibal. Something funny about the cannibal, by the time you get to the, like... Well, that's what's funny about the cannibal. By the time you get to, like, the split path bosses in this game, the game kind of expects you to have explored a little bit more and pick up some of its health upgrades. We haven't been doing that. We are still at the default 5 hearts. The gunshots at the start of this fight... There we go. These do 5 hearts of damage.
Oh.
This is the only attack that we deal with in the run, where since we haven't, like, collected any health upgrades, if we get hit by that, we just die.
That's how my wife played the first Dark Souls. She just put everything in her attack stat and was like, guess I'll just never get hit.
Yep, thankfully the parry in this game is pretty good for that. But I am going to focus on the later part of this fight, because this fight is pretty snowball-y. Usually I'm fine with this fight, but if I fall off once, it's really hard to recover.
You'll have to forgive me. I'm just, like, enraptured by this. This game is so cool to watch.
Yeah, this game is awesome. All right. And that is our 4th and final standard boss of the game.
Nice PB on the score, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. I don't score attack these bosses all too regularly, especially during, like, when I'm not doing an event and I just want to, like, survive the game. I will not attack that often because I'm just trying to survive, but honestly, I think it'd be fun to score attack these bosses more. There is in-game leaderboards for it, which is really neat, actually. But, yeah, we're gonna make our way back to the elevator here, and there's going to be a cutscene that brings us to the start of the game's, like, finale sequence. So, we are going to get on the back of this elevator to fall to the boss fight as quick as possible. So I haven't explained much about this game's story, but this is Wonder. He's kind of the one who runs this, like, pocket dimension we're in. And this is going to be the first fight against him. So there are 5 phases to this fight, and they can happen in any order. So this is, like, the sword fight phase. And the main idea of the fight here is that I'm just hoping that the phases I'm scared of happen first.
Because you're gonna see all 5 of them no matter what, right?
Oh yeah, you always see all 5. So there's no like RNG to this point where you can lose time or something because you don't get like the fast part. All of these parts, it's always the same 5 parts every time. The boxing match is one of the hardest parts. I would say my personal pick for the hardest part is there's going to be like a chessboard one. And that's the one I think is the hardest. But I also don't think any of these are like too hard particularly.
And now we're in Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Yeah, I still gotta play that game.
I mean, between the car race and the bisexual lighting, that's kind of what brings it to mind.
Yeah, of course. I get you. And of course we're saving the chessboard for last. The main reason I'm worried about the chessboard is, as you can see there, the way that this game's heals work is that you don't heal instantly, and if you take damage while healing, the heal stops there. And I think the chessboard, kind of similar to why I was worried about the cannibal, it's really easy to get lost, like, if you drop once. It's kind of like a slide. Like, it snowballs really fast. So I think it's really easy to just, like, not be able to maximize your heal if you need it.
The rhythm gamers in chat, definitely, I think, feel that one.
Yeah. I didn't take damage during the chess phase, though. So that's nice. Yeah, no, I played Vivid Stasis yesterday. Turns out it's not the only snowball-y rhythm game that I play. But here now we get snapped back to the real world. As I mentioned when we started that last fight, we were kind of in like a weird side dimension thing. But now we're wide and awake. This is where you would be wearing the gym clothes normally in the game. Usually these are like a post-game reward. But you're always wearing them in this segment. But you guys donated to wear them the whole time. So
there's been some appreciation in chat for the gym clothes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Again, I think this outfit is great. There is an outfit that I think this chat would have really appreciated. There's like an outfit called like Raven Witch, and it's like kind of a goth witch outfit, which it seems like it's made for this event, and I wanted to include it. But I ran this game at an event literally a week ago, and it won that bid war. So I wanted to wear something different.
Well, chat, you'll just have to play this game for yourself to check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, by the way, we're in the real world, the totally normal world that we live in, and you can do this in. Don't worry about it.
I could hear the scare quotes when you said real world the first time.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So now we're going to head into the final fight of the game. So this is the other fight that has something we can do to speed it up. Notably, this first phase, kind of similar to the snake thing. We have 5 like weak points around the map, and we need to take them out as fast as possible. Once I take the last weak point out, we are like 1 minute and 15 seconds away from time. So this part just is a matter of navigating the map as good as you can, which it's pretty tricky navigation. I'm not at a very good angle right now. Yeah, in fact, we're gonna pivot over here. That was a good pivot. There we go. Yeah, the gravity here, especially with all the platforms moving, can get really hard to keep track of really fast. So hopefully I can keep it good. I think I can just fall straight over there. Yeah, this is a good fall. I usually like to keep this piece as like a... In case I mess up a fall, I think this is one of the easier pieces to pivot to. but I just kind of got gifted a really good opportunity to use it, so we're gonna go for it. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, I just need to make it to that last X over there. I'm gonna try going to the back of this platform. There we go. That's gonna be a good fall. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, cool. So we just have this last phase of the fight here. This one is pretty tricky, so I am going to focus. Cool. That is the last actual damaging attack there. And now we are going to have a little bit of a cutscene. Once it cuts back to the hospital room, there's going to be about 10 seconds before time is called. We're going to have to wait for a text box to show up, and then the credits are going to start as soon as I skip it. And that's time.
GG.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great game. I want to give a shout out real quick to Marko Popovic, because as you can see by the credits, yeah. Big shout outs to Marko. This whole game is amazing, and I love it a lot. I played it at the start of this year. It came out, I think, last July, and it's awesome. This game is amazing.
This is really beautiful. I definitely want to check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was fantastic. All right,
yeah.
Laurie, is there anything else you want to shout out?
I do want to shout out real quick. So yeah, as you can see, when I skip back to after the credits, 25% game completion, and the file timer here is what the timer was at the start of the credits. So that's the timer we used. So this was actually a 30-second PB.
Judy, congratulations.
Yeah, no, this game is super cool. And honestly, I think this PB just needs to prove that I need to come back to this game, because that was far from a perfect run, but it was still really good. But yeah, speaking of me speedrunning something, if you want to check me out, I'm LaurieDBunnykins on Twitch and Blue Sky. You can find me not that often on both, but I'm around. And I just want to say thank you all for watching. This game is great. I'm really glad I got the chance to show it off. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the event. I know we only have like 2 games left. So get excited for those 2 games, please. I know I am.
Make it 3.
You could make it 3. So yeah, please just enjoy the rest of the event. I'm glad I could have been a part of it.
Thank you very much, Laurie. Appreciate your run. Okay, folks, we're going to take a short break, but we will be back shortly with Super Mario 64 Rogue Chaos Edition, a 70-star race run by Ad129 and Aneurysms. Don't go anywhere. Well, sadly, that is it for my time on the mic for this weekend. It has been a genuine pleasure to be able to join you for Power Up with Pride 2026, and I'll leave you back in the hands of Stump for our upcoming run of Super Mario 64. Stump, it's all yours.
All right. Thanks so much for that introduction and for doing all of that hosting that you've done. uh, well, my name's Stump. I'm back on the host mic for one more run for this Power Up with Pride. That run, which we'll have for you in a little bit, is going to be a 70-star race of SM64 Rogue Chaos Edition between Ad129 and Aneurysms. This is Power Up with Pride 2026, benefiting Point of Pride. By providing access to gender-affirming health and wellness services. They're currently celebrating their 10-year anniversary and in that time have raised nearly $6 million in support of their mission. And here at Power Up with Pride, this marathon so far, we've raised $6,665. Not bad at all. This run is going to be a good time. You never know what what Rogue Chaos Edition is going to do. But, well, we'll just have to see how the game treats them once we're ready.